Welcome to day 21 of Vlogyear. We have not made an intro yet for Vlogyear, so pretend that there was one, and now we're back. So Ingrid and I just filmed a video about, or a vlog, about how we first met. I will link that below. You can go and watch that. And while we were telling that story, we realized that there's a little bit of a side story to that story that continues on with how we met. I'm gonna let you talk about the Chinese restaurant. So if you want to start from the beginning, watch Ingrid's first, and then mine goes on after we had officially met, and we were at the YouTube Next Up Creator Camp, and we're in New York, and all 25 of us are at this Chinese restaurant eating. We're talking about food on Ingrid's vlog, and
so we were at this Chinese restaurant, and there was a lot of interesting food coming in, and I saw a fish come to the table, and I was like, oh, the fish eye is supposed to be really good, because my mom and my grandma
it's a full fish.
Yeah,
it's
like
not just like
fish.
Chunks of fish.
Yeah, full fish, like tail, head, everything. That's pretty typical, I think, with Asian food, because I know Thai people serve fish the same way. So I think it was a steamed fish, and then it had a sauce on it. And I love fish that's prepared that way, but I'd never eaten like the head or the eye or anything. But I know that my mom and my grandma, growing up, they would always say like, oh, the head and the eye, that's the best part.
Yeah, and she told the whole table.
Yeah, so
everybody's like, oh, so gross.
So
like,
I told the table
this is a big fish too.
Yeah,
like,
I told the table that the fish eye is supposed to be like the best part, and the eye was probably about like that big. It was a pretty big eye. Mm-hmm. And so then it turned into, now Ingrid needs to eat the fish eye, and I am very open to like eating a lot of things, but I draw the line at certain bugs, eyeballs, and frog legs, because I can't eat things that still look like what they originally were.
Yeah.
So
well, and then so I think I dug the eye out, right?
Yeah.
So I pull like, we have this huge like circle table of all of these people sitting around, and I pull the fish towards me and dig out the eyeball, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, like that's so gross. So I've got it on the fork, and I am just kind of like handing it over to Ingrid, and it looks like a black olive. Like, I'm sorry if I'm wrecking black olives right now for anybody, because it looked exactly like a black olive, like the little circular with the hole in the middle and kind of like fleshy inside with the smooth outside. Am I too descriptive on that?
No.
A little bit? Okay. So I give it over to Ingrid, and then you're like, no, like, I just don't want to eat that. I don't want to eat it.
And Lisa was looking at me like, don't eat it.
Yeah, and so many people around the table were like, eat it, do it. Like, so much peer pressure. And we all just met each other, so it was like straight out of high school. And yeah, so then Francesca, what's her channel name? It's
Cheska Lee.
Cheska Lee. She just goes, like, in a lull of the conversation, just goes, I'll eat it.
And I was like, my hero!
So,
because she like saved me, and people were pressuring me, but it wasn't like in a mean way or anything. It was a very lighthearted way.
It was fun. Yeah. So we hand it over to her, and she eats it, and she's like, it's not that bad. It's like not that big of a deal. I mean, because it is like eating a portion of an animal. You know, we eat animals all the time. I mean, most of us, I guess. But then didn't we dig out the second eye?
Oh yeah, I think someone dug out the second eye. I don't know what happened from that.
It was a little bit later, but
I don't know what happened. No, because then you were about to eat the second eye. You were like,
that's right. Yeah.
And I was like, no, don't eat it.
Yeah. And then did we just let that one like sit?
Yeah.
So that one went to the trash. So wasted a fish eye.
But yeah, I just haven't gotten the courage to like eat a fish eye. Fish eye, like certain insects, like I could eat like a little one, but like a bigger insect, I couldn't do that. And frog legs. Those are the three things that
pretty gross.
Yeah.
I didn't want to eat it at all. So after we went to the Chinese restaurant, was it the next night It was the last night before
Yeah.
we left, right?
Yeah, it was the last night.
Okay, so Ingrid and I had gone on these like just hanging out late at night adventures around New York because neither of us were tired and everybody was just kind of like wanting to go to bed early because they had us on this like boot camp schedule. It was something like, make sure to get up at like 6:30 and meet us down in the lobby at 7.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, like that's really early, especially for a bunch of LA people.
Yeah, and YouTubers.
And YouTubers. But anyway, so we went out. I think we went to, what kind of restaurant was it?
It was the cafeteria one, or
no, it was another one. It was just me and you. We went into this restaurant. I can't remember what it was called. We'll have to look it up for a little bit later. But we walked quite a few blocks to try to find this place. I think that you would remember.
It was cafeteria.
It was a cafeteria. Okay, so we went there and walked in. I saw that it was like candlelit dinner, late at night, like really late, and I was like, this is kind of a like little low key date, I guess. Like
I had never been there before. The place, like neither of us had been there.
Yeah, so really didn't know what was gonna happen, and we started talking and just like sharing stories, and then got into like fun stories, and then more detailed like personal experiences because neither of us knew each other at all at that point. And then should I tell them about the guys next to us? Like,
oh yeah,
it was really funny because in the middle of Ingrid telling these like, you know, heartwarming, like really nice, detailed, like personal experience stories that like I just really liked them. There were these two guys sitting really close to the left of me and to the right of Ingrid, at the next little like booth, and they're just talking like the dirtiest to each other, like very close to each other's faces, just like, you know what I'm gonna do to you tonight. And then like you could see underneath it, like at the corner of my eye, like not that I'm sitting there staring, they're sitting there like rubbing each other's legs like hardcore, and I'm just like trying not to laugh or smile because it's like Ingrid's being so nice and we're having this nice little dinner. And these guys are just being like ferociously sexual, like right next to us, and it's like I just had to stop Ingrid like in between one of her like stories and just be like, do you see what's happening next to us right now? And she's like, oh yeah, and then look over and they're like almost like ready to like make out and stuff. And anyway, so that happened, and that was a fun night, and then we just walked back, and then I think it was the last night.
Yeah, because we went to that restaurant with Matt at Market Kitchen, I think it's called. It was like Belgian food, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
It was really good. I had mussels, so good. But we went there with Matt beforehand, so it was the three of us that had dinner, and then afterwards everybody.
That was fun. I kind of forgot. And that night, Matt Koval told us that he was going to be a dad.
Yeah.
And so he just found out, like 24 hours before. And he's like, well, I just want to tell you guys, I'm going to be a dad. And we were both like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
like,
so exciting. And Matt's an awesome guy.
He is. He's so cool.
So,
we all went to a bar after that.
Yeah, I don't even remember what the bar's name was or where it was.
Yeah.
But we went to this bar and pretty much everyone was there. It was kind of like the last hurrah.
Just very last night.
Yeah.
And can I tell them the details of this? So Lisa Schwartz, Leasebug, on YouTube, Ingrid had to get up and go to the bathroom, and so she was like. She, like, immediately sat down at the booth that I was sitting at, and she just goes, Luke, Ingrid likes you, and you need to go back and make out with her tonight at the room. It was like, whoa, like, wait a second, you know, like, just getting out of this, like, relationship with Christina Horner that was, like coming to a close. We had broken up, like, way before that, but it was, like, finally coming to a stop. So I was, like, not in a position to jump like immediately back into a relationship or anything like that. So for her to say something like that, it was just kind of like very, very like, what the heck? So then another guy that had won, it's Brent. Is that Brent, right? And yeah. he like came over to me and he's like, dude, you're totally gay if you don't go make out with Ingrid right now. And I was like, oh, you guys, like, you don't even understand. Like, and I was like, I think Ingrid's great, and like we've had an awesome time. But like, I had met you like 3 or 4 days before, right? Like nothing that crazy. So, and then do you want to tell the next part?
What was the next part?
Like sitting down at the table when we were drawing, because it was like a bar. Like you could draw like.
They had like paper on the tables, and they gave you crayons so you could like draw.
We were drawing these really elaborate pictures, like all
I think
around.
I actually like twit picked it at some point.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
I put a twit pic out with all of us.
Yeah.
There, yeah.
And so Luke was sitting across from me, so I think he was talking or something, and I.
Yeah, I was telling her like another story, like, and we were just like having fun, and then I think you were still looking at me while writing this. Yeah. That's why it was so funny, because
I wrote upside down so Luke could read it, but it was upside down for me. I like you, and put like an arrow towards it.
Yeah, and so then I just looked down at the table and I was like, oh. And I don't even know. It was one of those kind of like freeze type of moments because I didn't really know how to respond. But I think I just wrote back. I think I just wrote back like I like you too or something like that. But I didn't want to like rush.
Oh no, you tried to write upside down and it came out I kill you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, no
Instead
way.
of I like you, it came out.
Why did I start with a K? Maybe it was like I kill you. Because it would be like kill is like that. Like I electronic kill you. Like, foreboding.
I remember that. Because I remember like you were trying so hard to write upside down and I was like, you kill me?
Oh my gosh. That is really funny. So anyways, yeah. And then once we got onto the airplane on the flight back, I think were we coming on the plane together and then we saw that we were sitting next to each other?
I think it was like on the way to the airport or something.
Yeah, we saw our like flight back details and our seats were like, I think you had the aisle row and I had the...
No, I had the window.
Oh, and I had the aisle.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a person in between us and I just asked like, hey, I know this girl, can I sit next to her? And he's like, yeah, sure. So we just swapped, and then we were able to like fly back on the plane together. That was really nice. And then I met Ingrid's mom at the airport very briefly. Very nice woman. And then we just like talked, just like let's hang out sometime. And then I think the next week she came over and I taught her all about video cameras.
Oh yeah, how to use my new camera that I got.
Yeah, and I think that's when we filmed the makeup video. Was that the one?
I think.
Or did we do the question? I don't know which one came first. I'm sure people in the comments will know. But
I think the makeup one came first.
Yeah.
I think.
I can't remember. But anyways, so then we found out Ingrid lived fairly close, so we started hanging out more. And yeah, now she lives like literally down the street.
Yeah.
In an apartment. So anyways, that's it for today. I hope you liked our story. And Ingrid and I answered a ton of questions on VU yesterday. I'll also link that down below if you want to go and hear more much shorter answers to lots and lots of questions. Go over to VU and yeah, I answered a bunch and then Ingrid and I answered a bunch, and in fact Joey and I answered a bunch too. Joey's here. You want to say hi, Joey?
Hi there, everyone.
Joey's been sitting here listening to us talk. And then Joey and I are going to go work out. You're going to get a personal trainer today, huh?
Yeah. See if I want to get one for real, though.
Yeah. No, he is going to for real. But anyways, I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.